As a professional organizer, I am frequently asked, where should I start organizing? And the truth is, there are many, many answers depending on what the client's need is. And I work with my clients individually to figure out what's best for them and for their household. However, there is one room that consistently is a good place to start. And it's not for the faint of heart. That is the kitchen. Now the kitchen, I say it's not for the faint of heart because it's a tough room to do. Not the toughest, but it is a tough room to do. However, the reason it's often a good place to start is it is the pivotal point in a home. It's where people enter into the home, one of the first rooms they see. It's where things get dropped. You spend a lot of time there. There's just a lot of reasons to get your kitchen right. So, if you were listening, you also heard me say it's a tougher room to do. Why? Well, however much stuff you think you have in your kitchen, it's probably double to triple what you think. There is just a lot of stuff, some of it very small, some of it pushed back, that you're not even seeing on a day-to-day basis. So if you're working in that kitchen, you're going to start finding out what you have hidden away, what's been pushed away, and it can be discouraging. So what do? It's like every other decluttering project, one bite at a time. You don't start off saying, I'm devoting this Saturday or a month of Saturdays to decluttering my kitchen. You start with one cupboard. However, I want to just kind of pull back from that a little bit, not so much the how-to, but maybe the bigger picture, if you will. What you want to do is sit back and think about, what is that kitchen supposed to do? Okay, well, it's pretty obvious that it's a place to prepare food. Maybe you eat in the kitchen, certainly clean up. Is it a place that you are going to have a small desk and so there's some paperwork? Do you want no paperwork there? When the mail gets dropped on the island, should it stay there or should it be moved elsewhere? How is it supposed to operate for you? Also, what does that kitchen need to do for you? And this one is tricky because a lot of times it's like, well, I have all these cupboards and they're filled, maybe overflowing, maybe not. That doesn't mean that's the right kitchen for you. If you had 3 or 4 kids and they've now left home, guess what? You need less pots and pans. You need fewer dishes than you used to have. So like every other kind of organizing, you want to organize to who you are now, who you're becoming, not what you were. So there's probably a lot of stuff you can declutter because you're just not cooking like that anymore. Along those lines, cooking styles also change. I remember back in the day, I frequently used my food processor, my crock pot, a bunch of stuff that I just don't use anymore because I'm not cooking like that. Partly because people don't tend to do that as much, and also my stage of life, not doing it. So I've had to rethink and start getting rid of things. One of the things that I have been actively decluttering is cookbooks. I realize that I rarely go to a cookbook anymore. I go to the internet. I go to my phone where I have stored recipes, so I can do some things differently than I used to. I just want to encourage people to look at who you are now when you're planning. Also, when it comes to kitchens, think about what's important there. Easy access. That's one of them. I can find things easily. I can get them out easily. I don't have to remove 3 things to get to the one thing I want. But here's the other thing I really want you to think about, and it actually hits on that first point of simplifying, decluttering, thinking about who you are now. Here's the question. Do you really want to be spending a lot of time in the kitchen cleaning and cleaning up after meals? I don't think so. So if you start with the end in mind that I want easy cleanup, what's going to do that for you? Well, one thing is using less pots and pans, less to wash, having less out on the countertops, less things to move when you're wiping up. Maybe it's even, and this is not so much decluttering, but it's organizing life, is picking recipes where there's not a lot of oil splattering. Things are just quicker and easier to prepare. There are a lot of ways that you can work smarter, not harder. It always starts with decluttering, but then there's a lot of things that you can rethink in your kitchen so that it works better for who you are today.